available to answer your concerns day or night. Join us twice a month as Doug gives you some insight and suggestions on what to do right now to ensure your continued well-deserved station in life. And now, here's Doug Fair, owner of Successful Seniors.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good Saturday morning. It's a wonderful, wonderful morning out here in the low country. Beautiful temps. It's fall, and we love it. We're here with Doug Fair and Successful Seniors of the low country. It's good to have you back in the studio, Doug. Good morning.
Good morning, Al. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a fabulous day, fabulous time to be alive.
Oh, yeah. I woke up Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday, and I walked Chloe out to head to school.
Sure.
And we stared at each other for a second because it felt like Colorado.
Right.
And so it's been nice the last 2 or 3 days. I have been driving with my my sunroof open and my windows down.
Yeah. Cool.
No air conditioning.
Right.
I mean, it's perfect. Yeah. So I'm happy.
There we go. Listen, folks, if you want to call in and talk to Doug today, I have a question about anything he talks about, retirement, long-term care, Social Security, etc. New number to call in, 843-438-4921. 4921. We had to get a new number because the Russians have put the ransomware on the old company that handled all these lines for us. So we should.
Oh, you got a new number. Oh,
yeah, it should be back. We should be back by Monday, according to my good friend and engineer, George, up in Boston. But for now, that's what we have to use. You have a question, call in, please.
yeah. The other thing, too, is you can always email me at dougfair1@msn.com. And the reason I say that is a lot of people today, picking up the phone's tough because they get robocalls and they get,
Sure.
They're tired of just playing on their phone all the time with different people that are trying to sell them something. And but you can send me an email and I promise I'll get back to you. In fact, today I wanted to just share a few things, and I'm going to go over answering some questions about some of the emails that I've gotten. But I wanted to start the show by saying I've spent the whole week finalizing some proprietary software with an organization. I consider myself an estate planning educational specialist. Even though I have my law degree, I do not practice law. So the disclaimer here is if you don't want to use one of our attorneys when you're dealing with your will and your trust and some of those important documents, get your own attorney. But we have some proprietary software now that I've spent the whole week educating myself on, because I really pride myself on when I learn a new product or a new concept, I want to know it in and out, because I cannot stand when somebody asks me a question, I have to say, I'll have to get back with you, which I don't know at all, but I do really want to spend a lot of time educating myself, because I pride myself on educating the over 1,800 people that I've worked with for, over 30 years now. So it's great. This one of the things I want to tell you is there's a lot of great attorneys out there, but Al, 80% of all trusts today that are out there are never funded. And so one of the things I just want to tell people is that the funding of your trust, after you go in to see an attorney and he uses software too, he doesn't,
Yeah, right.
he doesn't just start typing things up.
Right.
And so, and when he walks you to the door and you have this binder and you have this will and this trust, guess what? If you never fund it, it's worthless.
Right.
So that's really why I want to tell people that one of the final aspects of Successful Seniors is becoming this estate planning educational specialist. Now, when I say educational specialist is, I just want to educate you on what's out there, what your options are.
Right. No hard sell. No,
and I don't do any of the legal work. I wouldn't have time, even if I was licensed in Colorado and South Carolina. I wouldn't have time for that. I love doing what I do, which is Number one, I talk to people about income planning, and we've talked a lot about that. You know, one of the things that I read the other day from an individual who was writing a little story, he says, you know, it's important to build a foundation that starts with steady income for life throughout your retirement. Now, the beginning of that says the word foundation. If you have a great income plan and you start with a foundation of great steady income that you can never outlive, that really takes a lot of pressure off you in retirement.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we've talked about two things that age people, and I see this a lot, and I tell people this all the time, but the thing that ages my clients the most is regret and financial pressure. And regret being that, you know, maybe they stayed in the stock market a little too long, and there was some things that caused them to lose money that they really didn't need to do.
Right.
You know, the best thing to do if you're in the stock market these days is take a look at your whole portfolio. I'm not saying move everything under your mattress. Right. What I'm saying to you is, in order to make money today, you have to buy an orange for 10 cents and you have to sell it for 25.
Right.
So if your brokerage account is at 25, you know, you might want to call me and let's take a look at all of your inventory. Let's take a look at your goals. Let's take a look at your situation. Let's take a look at what your bucket list is for the future.
Sure.
And decide how we're going to make sure that we secure this more. So his article says, building a foundation of steady income throughout retirement, which will allow for you to take more risk if you feel necessary with the rest of your portfolio, which may result in a higher total spending amount in retirement and a higher legacy amount. Now, the total spending amount means that you never want to put all your eggs in one basket. And there's only three things you can do with your money, in my opinion. Actually, there's four. You can put it under your mattress. You can give it to a bank. When you give it to a bank today and you get your 1099s and you see that you made 52 cents for the year, it's kind of disheartening. Interest rates are super low, as we all know, and we've talked about that a lot. Or you can give it to a stockbroker. And again, there's a lot of good programs out there. But you can also put it into an insurance company. And one of the things that I'm going to share with you today is really unique. It's an article I wrote on really the truth about annuities, because a lot of people, they say, oh, well, there's a guy on TV that says never buy an annuity. And for what reason? I mean, they don't really give a reason.
No one talking about
but
that.
You know, you shouldn't have all your money in the stock market either, right, Al?
Yeah, I don't.
No, and you shouldn't have all your money sitting in the bank.
Right.
Right, Al?
Exactly.
And you shouldn't have all your money sitting under your mattress.
Right.
It's all about planning and diversification. So that's the investment plan side of my retirement university that we've talked about.
Yeah.
And the third one we're going to touch upon today too is the legacy and estate plan, because really to solidify a financial plan, if you don't have this estate planning in order, you're in big trouble.
Oh, right.
And this has nothing to do with making money. This has to do with making sure that all of your ducks in a row with your estate plan. Let me read to you a typical will, okay? I mean, I have a trust. I have a revocable living trust, and I have a pour-over will and a few other unique type of things in my trust. But the one thing I want to tell you is that a typical will talks about your statement of wishes. It talks about the disposition of your property. It talks about your durable power of attorney for health care. It talks about a durable power of attorney for financial matters if you become incapacitated. Mm-hmm. And it talks about bequests. You know, if you have a special something that you wanted to leave somebody in the family. And then, of course, there's the other part is called a living will. But if you don't encompass all of that inside of a trust, it's public knowledge.
Right.
And one of the things that you want to do is talk to me about how we can use our attorneys and our new proprietary software to get you settled in that. And then the fourth part of the Retirement University, this is just a recap of the previous shows that we've had, is a tax plan. One of the things I tell my clients all the time is never pay taxes on money you're not using. That's key. There's a lot of people that say, oh, I just really, I know I have this account over there and I just love seeing that $800 check every month. They take the $800 check and they run down to the bank and guess who they're making rich?
The banks.
The bank.
Yeah.
Because they get 0.13% and they're not using the money. So a good financial plan really has you look at, when do you want to pay taxes on this money that's never been taxed?
Right.
Because there's two types of money. There's non-qualified money, which is money that is sitting in your bank account that you already paid income taxes on. The only thing that's taxable with that is the interest. At the end of the year, you get this little sheet of paper called a 1099. And then there's money that has never been taxed. And that's money that is sitting in your 401k. And that's another whole thing. If you have a 401k today, you should send me an email, introduce yourself, dougfair1@msn.com. I want to tell you how those things are working today and what all your options are.
Right.
There's a lot of people that can do what's called an in-service 401k rollover. And do you remember the orange that you bought for 10 cents? You can sell it for 25 now,
right,
and put it in a safe bucket that's earmarked for income,
right,
which is at the top of the list here. And then the fifth part is, of course, the healthcare plan. I had two clients call today, and it just floors me because they both called me at separate times during the week, one from South Carolina and one from Colorado. And they said they're turning 65 in 4 months. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, how fast time flies.
Yeah.
And so when they turn 65, they're entitled to what's called Medicare,
right,
which pays 80% of your health care.
Right.
And then the other 20 has to be paid for with a supplement.
Right.
And I think we talked a little bit about your supplement.
Yeah.
Everything's going good with that.
Yeah, I'm real happy because I have some challenges coming up, and we checked it out, and there won't be any bill to me at all. So.
Yeah. And Al, I just wanted to throw out there that I've been thinking about you, and I've been praying for you, and I know everything's going to go great. I'm looking at you today, and you're 10 and you're healthy, and
yeah,
you're going to bounce back.
Great.
You're going to bounce back from this. But one of the things I want to tell you is, if you were to really take a look at that hospital bill,
right,
assuming that you look at it at the end,
we will, because
you're going to be floored on how much they took care of that other 20% that Medicare didn't take care of.
Well, I just saw the bill for these recent tests that I did. It was two of them was over $60,000.
Yeah, that's even before you've gone in.
I haven't done anything other than lay on a table.
Oh, well, yeah. Best of luck with that.
Yeah,
and
thanks a lot. So,
the one thing that I learned also this week is that I'm going to have to stop eating breakfast because of inflation. Now the other challenge that you have in retirement, of course, is inflation, which is the purchasing power of a dollar.
Right.
In 2020, okay, now I know everybody was sitting at home because of COVID. Inflation was at 1.4%. Today, the total rate of inflation for 2021, and the year's not over yet, is 5.3%.
Right, and climbing.
So just for fun, and I was just teasing everybody out there about breakfast, but bacon is up 15.6%.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse because I hear there's some issues with
pork.
some of the pork around the world that we get.
Mm-hmm.
Whole milk is up 11.2%.
Don't drink it. So
Yeah, we don't do a lot of whole milk, but every once in a while, if Claudine makes one of her wonderful desserts, I sneak a half a gallon of that whole milk, and it's just one of those things. I mean, I grew up, I love it. I got to have it. But it's up 11.2%.
Wow.
Okay, for the year. This is for the year. Eggs are up 5.7%.
Right.
And coffee's up 2.9%. And then I really haven't seen too much about that. I mean, it doesn't seem like these Starbucks are suffering. Or I went there the other day. It seemed like everything looked, normal.
Sure.
And then bananas. Chloe had a banana this morning on her way to her cross-country meet. She's running here in Bluffton. And so unfortunately, I missed it because I had this show. But the thing is I wanted to wish her luck. But she had a banana this morning, and they're up 1.8%.
Right.
Now, inflation, just for people to understand out there, there's a lot of causes. But, one of the things is the early lockdowns and the supply chain distributions, the soaring shipping rates, the transportation costs, and the employee shortages are all causing this. It's kind of like, a perfect storm of all these things. And Al, I was just heading out to, last week, I was out in Lexington, Kentucky at Parents Weekend for Campbell, my middle daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really neat. If you fly out of Savannah, which we do, we drive to Savannah. It's about 32 miles. But it's really, really neat that when to catch a connecting flight, you have to head north. And if you catch it just right, you get to fly right over Hilton Head Island. And it's just a beautiful spectacle. But I was totally amazed. I had a window. I didn't have the window seat. Claudine had the window seat. And it was a small little plane, and I was in the aisle. I have no idea because I always take the window. But we were looking out the window, flying over Hilton Head Island, and I could not believe the cargo ships out there. There's thousands in LA.
Right, just waiting.
Now, this is all about supply, demand. This is all about the distribution network and transportation costs, and really it's logistics. But I could not believe the ships. Now, when we're out at the beach here on Hilton Head, we see the ships coming in constantly. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing because you can't see over the curvature of the earth.
Sure, over the horizon, right.
Because it's a phenomenon I can't explain when you're sitting there. It doesn't matter if it's high tide or low tide. But the amount of ships that we saw setting out there was staggering. Mm-hmm. And it was, obviously when you're looking from an airplane, even though you just took off 30 miles away, it was just absolutely amazing how many are out there waiting to come in. Hey, I wanted to share with you all an article too, just because I spend a lot of time educating my clients about Social Security and when to take it and how to take it. But Al, this is an article that everyone needs to know about, and it says, this is the year Social Security starts paying out more than it brings in, 2021.
Well, if they'd stop raiding the, Social Security coffers for all their other pet projects, it'd be all right.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that gets to that point right here. It says, which could become very expensive for those of us who hope to retire someday. Me being 60 years old, I hope to retire someday, but I don't foresee it anytime soon. Because, well, first of all, I got a lot of work to do. And second of all, Chloe's only a junior in high school. But the pension program for retired workers, their survivors, and the disabled built up $1 trillion reserve back when the economy grew faster and retirees didn't live so long. But with employers hiring less and more workers retired, Social Security is selling its big pile of treasury bonds to keep the checks coming in for a while. Last Tuesday, the plan trustees warned they expect that money will run out in 12 years. When that happens, under current law, they say Social Security will have to cut payments to retirees by about 1/4. forget about the cost of living bumps, and survive on what it still collects from workers and their bosses. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, I've always told people about Social Security that you want to step back when you turn 62, when you become eligible, and you want to talk to a financial professional, and hopefully you call me, 833-814-0115, because you really need to know all the facts.
Yeah.
And if you think for a minute that you're going to run down to get that Social Security check, which, again, we just talked about this. What do most people do? They run down, they get the Social Security check, and they shove it right into the bank.
Right.
But they don't realize that when they took it at 62, that they only got 80%. And they also did not realize, that they cannot work. I mean, you can work, but you are very, very limited in what you can make.
Yeah, what is the cutoff? 17,000.
Yeah, it's I want to say it's like close to 15,800 this year.
Yeah.
And so, it's one of those things. It's between 15 and 17,000, and it changes every single year. But the thing is this: for every dollar that you make, you have to pay some of your Social Security back. And so, really, why did I bring this up? I brought this up is not to scare people, but I brought this up that there's another school of thought. There's people that, based upon their health and based upon their ability not to find a job, now with some of this news that we've heard here, that Social Security may be something that they want to take early. So, hey, I keep all of everyone's avenues open.
Yeah, right.
I tell them all the facts. I don't tell them just some of the facts. What's in it for me to tell somebody not to take their Social Security? It has, other than the fact that if I do their financial plan, it might mess a few things up. But what's in it for me is that they listened to good sound advice.
Right.
And then, of course, what they end up doing is everything starts to fit in to exactly what they need to do to take care of all of these parts of my retirement university: their income plan, their investment plan, their legacy and estate plan, their tax plan, and their healthcare plan. So it's all a huge jigsaw puzzle. And yeah, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about. I didn't know, Al, did you see that article that was in there?
Where did you find it?
It was. I think I wanted to say it was just in one of the. I read 3 newspapers. I forget which one it was, but I forget which newspaper it was in. But I did have to make a copy of that just because, with COVID, 2021 really crept up on all of us.
Yeah.
And in the back of my mind, I knew that this is the year that Social Security starts paying out more than it brings in. But when you're in 2016 and they say 2021, you never think it's going to get here. You think it's like a Star Wars movie.
Right.
But guess what happens? It shows up.
Yeah, there it is.
And you want to be prepared.
Sure.
So I do want to touch upon, there's a lot of people that over the course of time, they've asked me about, some of my flagship products. They've asked me a little bit about how different products work. There's a lot of, remember, Social Security is just a real big annuity.
Right.
What you've done is you've paid into it. And then all of a sudden, based upon your age and based upon how old you wait until you take it, it's just a lifetime income annuity.
Well, it's a crappy one at that. I wish I had, instead of paying into Social Security, I could have taken that money and put it with, a fellow like yourself and to invest it for me. I would have had 3 times as much money.
Yeah.
But, this government directed conglomerate that they came up with, we'll take the government and once again, we'll take care of you in your failing years. And it turns out that people are eating cat food.
Yeah.
And not paying for their prescriptions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's all over the place and it's crazy. But anyway, I wrote this article because I wanted to kind of clear, like I said, I don't like to throw other organizations under the bus, but there is a guy that comes onto your TV and he has, I can tell you this, he has the highest fees in the industry. So he pays you. And the reason why he's on TV all the time he tells you everything you shouldn't do instead of sticking to what he knows best. But it's a big brokerage outfit. But one of the things he says is he says, I hate annuities and so should you. And every time I see that, I'm not the kind of person that says, I hate banks and so should you, or I hate stockbrokers and so should you.
Right.
Everyone has its place.
Yeah.
And so, based upon your longevity and your age and your risk tolerance, all of those things fit in. I mean, there's a lot of people, Al, that I have met in rural areas that I've worked with.
Right.
100% of their money's in the bank.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they can go down and they can smell it and they can touch it. And that money is sitting there at that bank, but it's not. That money is immediately funneled into a mortgage loan in California and a car loan in Minnesota.
Right.
And they're able to make $5 for every $1 you give them.
See, that was the scheme with these passbook savings plans that the banks, when I was a kid, when I was a paper boy, my mother kind of forced me to have a savings plan, and they gave me a passbook savings. So every week when I deposited X amount of money into my account, I would see it like it was mine, just like you're speaking of right now. But that money wasn't there, even though it was a small amount. It was, scraped into the middle like poker chips and sent out to, fortify someone's house payment, or loan or car loan or whatever. My money wasn't getting anything.
No. Even if you're here on the island and you're driving from one end to the other and you look around, you look at the number of banks.
Ooh.
Now, I have a great bank here and I've really been happy with it. But one of the things I want to tell you as a voice for you is that you're up against two things in retirement. You do not know how long you're going to live.
Right.
You are earning historically low interest on your money at the bank, and things are costing more. Okay, so this is a wake-up call. Let me say that again. If you're making less money on your money and you're having to use the principal of your money, and you're no longer able to make any interest because interest rates are low and things are more expensive, it's going to be financial ruin unless you have other places where you have the ability to make money. And based upon your risk tolerance, at Hilton Head Capital Partners, we have everything under the sun to help you. And with Successful Seniors in my organization, we have wonderful plans to where if the market goes down, you don't lose any.
Sweet.
So, yeah. Hey, when we come back, I just wanted to see if you want to take a little break. Yeah. I'm gonna read the article that I wrote, and then I want to talk to you about what I've been doing all week with the estate planning proprietary software.
Sounds good. We'll be right back. You're listening to Talk One Radio and Successful Seniors with Doug Fair.
Are you tired of market losses and fees associated with the stock market? Would you like to be able to watch your money grow without the risk of any losses? Successful Seniors can help you secure your retirement income. There are no monopolies on good ideas, and in today's financial environment, it is important to get a second opinion and find out what prudent and informed investors are doing with their money. Call toll-free 833-814-0115 or email Doug at dougfair1@msn.com for a no-cost appointment.
No time for fitness? Unsure of what to do when you walk into the gym? The eFit Club uses eGym and Matrix technology combined with personal training to easily guide you through your workout. It's the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to improve your health. The eFit Club is suitable for all adults, and our members are reporting amazing results. The eFit Club is located in Bluffton at the Belfair Town Village Shopping Center. Mention Alan or Roman of Talk One Radio and you'll receive a special discounted membership. It's your time to get fit. Change your fitness, change your life.
Looking for a barbershop with a traditional feel? Well, look no further. Joe's Classic Cuts Barbershop is the Low Country's place to receive a top quality haircut or straight razor shave. You'll enjoy a family environment where everyone is welcomed and the refreshments are on the house. Joe's is located at 23 Johnston Way in Bluffton and open 7 days a week. For old school service and quality, makes Joe's Classic Cuts Barbershop your go-to place for the finest haircut and shave in the Low Country. Call 843-757-5637 or visit www.joesclassiccuts.com today for your next appointment.
Hello, everybody. Jimmy here at Underground Burritos, your restaurant-inspired, taste-delivered, ready-to-heat meat burrito company. Also got them great, hot and ready. Hey, we moved locations this year over on May River Road, right here in the heart of Old Town Bluffton. Come give us a shout. Come pick up some great burritos. And hey, guys, look, we're teaming up with Talk One Radio to bring you a great new radio show called Restaurant Talk. Look forward to hearing from you. Stop by. Have a great day.
All right, we're back. I just want to remind everybody that on Monday at 5 o'clock, Jimmy Soul's back in studio with the Restaurant Talk Show. So we're all juiced up and ganged up for that. He's got a couple big announcements to make. So make sure you tune in. 5 o'clock on Monday. That's before our show goes on. But Jimmy runs the Restaurant Talk. He's the man behind the plan. So check him out. Now let's get back to my good friend, Doug Fair.
Yeah, thanks, Al. I have a huge sign behind me in my office, and it has 4 words on it. It has plan, invest, evolve, and retire. And I really think that that's what it's all about. You know, people that have a vision of what they want to do. And to be honest with you, it's complicated.
You're right.
I know sometimes people out there, it's overwhelming to call an advisor. It's overwhelming because you think, oh, you know, I'm going to divulge all my information to this person and I don't know what's going to come of it. But, you know, my typical first appointment is I sit down and visit with people for about a half hour. And you know what I want to know? I want to know if this is going to be the right fit. Because believe it or not, there are some difficult advisors to work with, and there's some difficult people out there to work with. And I just want to make sure now in my career that it's a good fit toward, working with somebody. So that's the planning part. The having a vision, you know, getting an inventory and, you know, it just kind of like talking a little bit about goals. And then, of course, the investment part, you know, that really has to do with risk tolerance. And, you know, there's nothing out there that Bruce and I cannot help somebody with. And we really, really believe in what we do. And our number one concern is always about service. And it's always about helping people. I mean, we never have any conversations about, oh, my word, you know, we acquired 3 clients this week and we had a great week and we're off to a record year. We never say things like that. I mean,
right. That's
we're worried about, hey, I'm worried about the fact that when I get these 6 phone calls next week, that not only do I have good news, but I also, have the answers that people are looking for.
Sure.
And then the third word is evolve. In my opinion, evolve means staying on course. And then when it becomes time to retire, it's one of those things where, you know, you've trained yourself to run that 5K. And then it's one of those things that the fun part about it is going out and doing it. And so if you're prepared, it's a wonderful thing. So yeah, shoot me an email, dougfair1@msn.com if you have any questions. But getting to my article, again, earlier in the show, I talked about a firm that spends millions and millions of dollars. So they must have some wonderful fees that they charge you. So, but they just tell you about, they even use the word hate.
Oh my God.
They say, I hate annuities and so should you. I mean, it's just amazing. But anyway, so I wrote this article just to send to some of my clients who have these questions. Again, when you're a client of mine, you have a question and you want to know how everything's doing. I do give comprehensive reviews. I spend a lot of time, usually a day and a half of my week is just preparing comprehensive reviews that are overnighted and sent out to my clients, both in Colorado and South Carolina.
And what are your fees?
So I get paid when I have a product that I put you into. I get paid by the companies. Now, when you're dealing with the brokerage side of our house, which I'm not the stockbroker, but Bruce is, there are fees associated with having a brokerage account. And so those are some things that, we touch upon. We tell you very, very transparent about how that all works, because we have a money manager, we have a marketing department, we have all these things that really are there to help you succeed. And that's how that part of our organization makes a living. But with me, I get paid two ways. I get paid the first year that you put money in one of my products and that you fully understand how it works. And then every year you stay happy, I receive what's called residual income.
Sure.
So the number one thing is this, Al. I mean, just to give you an example, if you became a client of mine and after about 6 months, you started looking at your statement and you started, looking at different things and you said, Doug, I don't know if I really understood this. I'm moving in a new direction. Well, I basically, if that happens, I worked for free. So I don't do that. I really take my time because I want to keep you for years.
Sure.
I have clients who, and I've told you this before, that are still with me. I tell the story about I was sitting in my office one day and I just decided, I heard about this new product. I really wanted to learn about it. I got on an airplane. I went to the company and learned more about it. And it was the beginning of me kind of becoming independent.
Right.
And I started becoming an independent broker. But the very, very first person, it was Bob and Janet. It was their names, and they're still doing great. They still have that same account now. And that is over 30 years ago.
Wow.
On Telstar Drive in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Now, and you still maintain that because things have changed over 30 years. So you've taken different directions, you massaged what's going on. Right.
Yeah. And with that account, because of the fact that they're taking income, it was one of those things where I wasn't able to continually move it into something else over the 30 years because they're utilizing it for income. But a really, really great couple that believed in me. Every time, I haven't had a chance to go back to Colorado very often, but I always just love either calling or talking to them. They're avid fishermen and hunters. So they'll get on an airplane and they go fish for halibut in Alaska. And guess who they bring home a little bit too?
In a way.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to talk to you about this annuity article I wrote.
Sure.
In my 30 years as a chartered retirement planning advisor, I found it rare that an annuity did not fit somewhere in a portfolio. Here are some points to ponder. Forget everything you know about annuities. It's inaccurate, it's dated, or it's only a small piece of the bigger picture. Personal financial gurus, YouTube personalities, and media outlets do not know squat about annuities, and the vast majority of their content is not for your benefit, but for theirs. They want your personal information for advertising, lead generation, and diverting you to sell something else. It's all a bunch of scare tactics. And just like this brokerage account that I'm telling you about that's on TV all the time, what they do is they say, we hate annuities. We don't like banks. We want you to put all your money in our brokerage account. And here's what we're going to do to get to know you. We're going to send you the top 24 things you need to do to retire. You give them all your personal information, and that most likely, and I'm not saying that happens all the time, but they most likely use that for advertising. They use it for lead generation.
Sure.
It goes to local brokers. And that's why, if you check your junk mail or you look at your phone, I mean, I got a phone call the other day from like France. Now, I don't know what that was all about.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, but ooh la la. But the thing is they're not an individual like me who I want to sit down with you when the timing's right. And I want to really get to know you and talk to you. That's how I make my living. I'm not trying to grab your information and then sell it off to somebody. I wouldn't even know how to do that if I had the chance. So again, they want to use that information if you don't become a client of theirs, because when you realize the fees and the potential for loss on the and not building they don't talk a lot about building a foundation and having the income that you need and all of those things. They are really, really concerned about getting you in to a brokerage account, which is not always bad. Remember, there's a fit for everything. So everybody out there, don't send me an email and get mad at me for saying this, but there's a fit for everybody out there. And there's enough business to go around. Right, Al?
Right. Oh,
I mean, think about it. I mean, all of these baby boomers who are set to inherit these trillions of dollars, we all have a lot of work ahead of us.
Right.
And it's just that we should all get along and learn where the best fit is for individuals. So, Al, there are 13 types of annuities, not 1, not 2, not 4, but 13 types of annuities. And they all serve a different purpose. You do not have to give up control of your money in all annuities. My 5 annuities allow you to have control, flexibility, liquidity, a death benefit, and you get to walk away with all of your earnings. If you can avoid it, do not annuitize your annuity. Now, everybody out there in America, if you bought an annuity that is over 7 years old, please call me. Please email me.
Wow.
I want to talk to you that you might be in what's called a dinosaur of annuities. And again, there's surrender charges when you have annuities. So we monitor all those. We have a suitability department. And if you have had an annuity with another company for 3 years or less, the insurance company won't allow me to move it to my company. And I think that's a wonderful thing, because before it was regulated, people would sell you an annuity, and then what they would do is they would take your surrender charge and give you a bonus, but then stick you into something that may be best for the agent and not best for you.
Right.
And so we now have what's called compliance, which, if you've ever been to a compliance meeting and you need a good nap, those are the best. I sit on the very back right, and I get some good sleep in those things. No, I'm just joking. But Al, we have a suitability department where a suitability whole organization takes a look at various transfers. Now, when you have money that is non-qualified, remember we talked about non-qualified, you're able to do what's called a 1035 exchange. Right. And you can exchange that annuity for another one without any taxable event. The other thing is if you have a 401k, and again, you bought an orange for 10 cents and now it's at 25, you can do what's called a direct transfer of that 401k into your own individual IRA, which is a self-directed IRA with me. And guess what? No taxable event. It all comes over. So if you can avoid it, do not annuitize your annuity. If you have an annuity that is 7 years or older, in order for you to get all the money out, you may have to annuitize it. Do not do that. you will lose control over your investment. You will earn minimal interest, and the income payments can be much lower, and you may not have the death benefit needed. Okay. Now, annuitization, I want to tell you this story. I use my two, I think about my grandfathers when Grandpa Adolf and Grandpa Hank, I think about, when they were working and when annuities first came out, there was an annuity out there called a life income only annuity. We don't have those anymore. I mean, I think if you wanted to find one, you could, but certainly I don't believe in those. But let me tell you how a life income only annuity works. Do you know why I'm sharing this with you, Al? Is because people out there today think that this is how it all works, which is the furthest from the truth.
Right.
A lifetime income only annuity, back when my grandfathers were working, guess what they would do? They'd say, okay, you have $85,000 in your annuity. You're going to relinquish that to the insurance company. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pay you a lifetime income, no matter how long you live. Well, remember,
wow,
longevity back then was very, very low, right?
Right, very short.
Remember, we talked about that, very short, yeah. We talked about that on our last show. So what kind of a ripoff is that? I mean, what happens if you died in 2 years? Guess who got to keep the money? The insurance company.
Oh, yes.
But if you live to be 115, they might have paid you 85,000 times 3.
Oh.
But guess what? Never mix your gambling habit with your investments.
Right.
And that's a gamble. So
Right.
we don't have that out there. So America, that you're listening, lifetime income only annuities are a dinosaur. That's not the way annuities work. Today, you don't have to annuitize. We have what's called a lifetime income rider that is attached to most of my flagship products. So there are 3 ways to generate an income stream from an annuity. There's the annuitization, which you give up control to the insurance company. Do not do that. If you're stuck in that situation and you are in South Carolina or you're in Colorado, please call me. I can help you through that. We will get the insurance company on the phone. I will look at your contract. I will make sure that you have all your options, and there are some options that you'll have. Lifetime income is the other way to generate an income stream for your annuity. Lifetime income provides you with control over your income. And guess what? It can be turned on and off, which I really like.
That's real nice.
Yeah. And so I'm going to go over that here in a sec. Then, of course, you can take what are called penalty-free withdrawals. Most annuities allow you to pull 20% of your account balance out after the first year per year. Now, what do I mean by that? Is let's just say, for example, that you wanted to get that dream truck that you've always been looking at.
Sure.
And you didn't have an adequate amount of your emergency fund. You would if you were with me.
Sure.
Because I'm a big believer in emergency funds. And let's take.
Sorry, I was just double checking that we were going live. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. But so the thing is that let's just say, for example, that you needed some money for that new truck. You could pull out 10% of your account balance before your anniversary and 10% after your anniversary, which is 20% over all your money, and still allow the other monies to grow in the indexes with no downside risk, and allow you to continue to keep your income account value growing every single day. My flagship product, it allows you, with interest rates being at 0, my flagship product today has a 4% lifetime income roll-up rate. So every single day that goes by, your income account value is credited 4%, Al, for purposes of income.
Very
now,
nice.
That's not 4% cash, because you have the indexers are what pay into the account value, and then the 4% guaranteed continues to increase your income account value. And that's the figure that we use. and we times that by a payout rate, which is based upon your age. And then we times that by your payout rate, and it spits out a monthly income.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Let's just say, for example, that we do a great plan and you decide you're $800 short every month. So we kick in the lifetime income rider. And do you know how many days you have to wait after getting your account before you can kick that in? 30 days.
Wow.
And you know how fast time travels here on the island.
Yeah.
I mean, can you believe it's the 25th of September?
Right. Well, and this hour is almost gone.
Yeah.
So we're 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it flew by.
Yeah. So the thing is that you only have to wait 30 days. Now, my annuities have no fees. You don't pay any commissions. I get paid by the insurance company. And I ask people all the time, do you have the right annuity? Do you understand it? There's a lot of people, what they've done, especially here on the island, is they've gone out to a big fancy dinner that these brokers have sent. And you get one of these things in the mail at least once every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
You go to this nice big fancy dinner, you sit down, and then guess what happens? You end up getting into one of these products and you can't find the guy who sold it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, there's a lot of great advisors out there that you can find that have been doing this for, as long or longer than I have. But there's a lot of people who decide, especially on an island, hey, there might be some bucks down here in Hilton Head Island. And so I'm going to come down, do an educational workshop, get some business, and then I'm going to head back up to my office in Pennsylvania. But the thing is that if you don't understand what you have and you didn't understand what you bought and it's not working the way that you want to have a free review, you could call me.
Yeah, right.
Come to my office in Indigo Run.
Right.
We'll meet if you don't like the intimidation of an office, which we're not intimidated at all. We have a lot of fun in our office. And we just had a local TV station come in. I think I told you this a couple weeks ago. And so we had a big TV production in our office, which is awesome. And so or we can meet at a Starbucks or wherever you want to meet, and we can talk about that. So anyway, I know we only have about 6 minutes left. I want to talk to you a little bit about what I've been doing all week with my educational workshops. The last aspect of Successful Seniors, with all the things we've talked about over these past 6 shows, is I've always been an estate planning educational specialist. And I do not practice law, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Very good.
I have to use that all the time. No one gets it but me. But
Yeah.
but we have attorneys in every state, Al, and our series of workshops are designed to be both educational and entertaining. The course, which I'm going to invite people to through various mailings as soon as the COVID is lifted a little bit more and people are more comfortable with going out, it's typically 60 minutes long. So you're not going to get a nap in my class because we're going to cover a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And it will help you determine what, if any, type of estate plan you may need. Again, I'm educating you. I did go to law school, so I understand how all this works. In fact, my favorite class in law school was Wills and Trusts because it had the most fascinating stories. Except for the Paulsgraf case, which
Right.
I'll tell you about that some other show.
There you go.
It will further educate you on what options are available and how they work. Learn whether or not you need a will, a trust, or both. We will help you personally score your situation so that you can see what is best for you and your family. The operative word there is score. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. You will be shown what it takes to avoid probate and maintain privacy. It's all about privacy. I mean, I just can't imagine if something were to happen to me and everybody were to know all of my business. I don't want that.
Right.
I'm a private person. I always have been. And so this allows you to do that. We will further educate you on your benefits of a proper estate plan and how simple and inexpensive it really can be. We will teach you the importance of the following and how it works: your last will and testament. And of course, there's pour over will provisions for things that weren't addressed in your will. They pour over.
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. That's an issue that you have to kind of go through with people.
Right.
There's also the durable financial power of attorney, the durable healthcare power of attorney, living will, advanced medical directives, and more. The other article that I don't have time to read today is I wrote an article about probate, but I just want to read the very, very first part of it. It says, one of the benefits of a comprehensive estate plan is avoiding probate. Probate is the legal process of settling the estate of a deceased person. The average estate spends 9 to 24 months in probate, although it can be much longer. The average cost, in my experience, of having to pay for probate, the estate pays anywhere between 10 and 15% of the total amount of the estate just to settle it because you didn't do the proper planning.
Right.
Now, do you remember the operative word that I used over here, which was called scoring?
Right.
What we do with our proprietary software is we, with our attorneys, we have found out every possible scenario that can happen. For example, if I were to sit and talk to somebody and they said, you know what, I love my kids, but I don't want them to get it all at once. Or I love my kids and I don't know how this is going to work, but one of my kids has special needs. When we put in the algorithms of this software, it spits out the wonderful, unique language that you get a look at and you get to be able to approve, and it's wonderful. So the importance of having a trust is fantastic.
Excuse me, and that software is continually upgraded and updated based on what's happening in the world, right?
What's happening in the world. And of course, with attorneys in all 50 states, we have what we believe is the greatest group of estate planning attorneys throughout the country that have helped us not only develop the software, but again, it's just fantastic. I mean, you go in on your own. If you felt like, hey, I just want to take this for a test drive,
right? You
go in and there's a free trial because there's a cost involved to getting it. But let me just tell you the option. You can go to an estate planning attorney. They use the same software. Sometimes nothing is funded. You walk out the door with a $3,800 book that may not be worth anything if it's not done right.
Yeah.
We have decided as an organization and with Successful Seniors is we want to put a kibosh to that.
Right.
Now, if someone calls me and they say, I have a great affinity with my attorney, guess what I tell them to do? Don't listen to me. I'll still help you, but go see your attorney.
Right.
You love him and he likes you, go see him. And in fact, I'd like to meet him because I could probably learn some things from him. But in a nutshell, it's fantastic. It kind of sews up everything that we've done, Al, over the last 6 weeks to tell you that I'm a comprehensive planner. I've dedicated my life to helping people. It's what I do all the time, all day, sometimes 12 hours a day. Sometimes I have to go out and get on my bike for a while. But I just want to be there for people to help them. The more I educate you, the longer you stay my client because you know you can trust me and I'm the calm professional that kind of puts it all together.
And your availability is beyond reproach because, you're 24/7 type of guy that may not answer the call at 3 a.m., but when you wake up at 6, you're going to be on a blower.
Yeah. And it's funny because I do get some calls at 8 o'clock at night in Colorado that is 10 o'clock in my time. And I think I've told you this before, but I turn into a pumpkin about 9:30.
Like we all do.
Yeah. But Al, in closing, I just want to tell you that my thoughts are with you.
Okay.
And
I do appreciate that.
I know that you're going to go get something taken care of. And I just want everybody out there, if you can send Al some prayers, and he's really been helpful to me with this show, and he's got a long way to go. And
That's right.
if there's anything you need, Al, during this time, please call me.
Okay, that sounds swell. Listen, folks, if you want to get a hold of Doug, it's 833-814-0115, or you can reach him at Doug Fair, the number 1 at MSN.com. That's SuccessfulSeniorsUSA.com. Check him out. He's definitely worth the time. I can't wait to get our, once all this hubbub gets over with on the health front, we're going to get together with you and put together. So we have some money that we need to do some things with. And
that sounds great. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yeah. So
love to help.
Folks, if you live in Sun City, please give Doug a call. Doesn't cost you anything to have a conversation, a quick meeting over coffee. He may be of service. I'm sure he can be of service to you. He'll answer those crazy questions about Social Security, long-term care, extending your retirement income. And I know you're probably sitting back thinking, sipping your coffee, eating your toast right now, thinking, I'm good, everything's fine. These times are changing, as Bob Dylan says. So it's worth an afternoon. If instead of sitting watching reruns of Gunsmoke, give Doug a call, 833-814-0115. We'll have you back again, Doug. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Successful Senior Show. Please join us 2 weeks from today, Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on Talk One Radio. For more information, go to SuccessfulSeniorsUSA.com or contact Doug Fair at DougFair1@MSN.com. Till next time, remember, it's all in the planning.